Hi, Robert here of Legacy Home Inspections with another 2-minute inspection tip. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the most common but dangerous safety issues that we run across in our inspections. It's the incomplete installation of a flexible gas line. It's dangerous, but don't worry, it's also easy to fix. So with that thought in mind, let's get started. The trade name for flexible gas lines is corrugated stainless steel tubing, or CSST for short. It was first manufactured by the Gas Research Institute in the late 1980s, and approximately 1 billion linear feet have been installed in the last 20 years. And it has an excellent safety record as long as it's installed properly. So, what is CSST? It's a thin-walled steel gas line that's most commonly enclosed in a yellow sheath. Contractors love to use it because of its flexibility and ease of installation. Now, prior to CSST, most gas lines were made of rigid steel, which has no flexibility and can only be installed at straight or 90-degree angles. And it's kind of ironic, but the very feature that makes CSST so desirable is also its biggest safety issue: thin wall construction. When lightning strikes a home, it looks for metal. If it binds the CSST lines, because of its thin wall, there's a likelihood the line will rupture, resulting in a fire. Now, to prevent that from happening, as written in the National Fuel Gas Code, NFPA 54, Section 7.13, the CSST piping must be bonded to the electrical grounding system of the home. So, what does bonding look like? Here's a CSST line attached to a portion of the rigid steel gas line. A bonding clamp is installed at the fitting or the black pipe itself. A 6-gauge copper wire is inserted into that clamp, then routed back to the electrical grounding system, which is typically the electric panel. A word of caution is that the bonding clamp should only be attached to the rigid steel or the fitting that connects the CSST line and the rigid steel. It should never be attached to the CSST line itself. A licensed electrician is the most qualified person to perform the bonding. If it's dangerous, why do so many systems suffer from an incomplete installation? Because most often the line is installed by a plumber who does not want the liability of an electrical installation, and so refers it back to an electrician who may or may not actually follow up on the request. The ultimate responsibility, of course, lies with the code inspector. But for those installations performed after the original construction of the home, a codes inspector may never see the final product. And it's also important to note that there are 2 types of CSST lines. The most common is the yellow jacketed version. But there's also a lesser used black jacketed version, first introduced in 2005. This system contains a bonding sleeve built into the black sheath that satisfies electrical codes for safety. If the CSST uses a black conductive jacket, then the use of the 6-gauge bonding wire may not be required. The reason more contractors choose the yellow lines is simply personal preference. As an additional precaution, CSST manufacturers provide very specific installation instructions. Again, CSST is very safe if installed in accordance with these instructions and code requirements. Okay, that's it for me. Now you know a little bit more about CSST lines and why it's so important to have them properly installed. I hope that was helpful. Stay tuned for my next video, because in it, I'm going to teach you how to find what might be a $7,000 to $8,000 hidden feature in a house that many homeowners don't even know they have. It's called the silent floor system. We'll talk about that and more next time. Hope to see you then.